Charles de la Recluse, or Carolus Clusius, seigneur de Watènes, was a Flemish doctor and pioneering botanist, perhaps the most influential of all 16th-century scientific horticulturists. Life. He studied at Montpellier with the famous medical professor Guillaume Rondelet, though he never practiced medicine. In 1573 he was appointed prefect of the Imperial Medical Garden in Vienna by Maximilian II and made gentleman of the Imperial Chamber, but he was discharged from the Imperial Court shortly after the accession of Rudolf II in 1576. After leaving Vienna in the late 1580s he established himself in Frankfurt am Main, before his appointment as professor at the University of Leiden in October 1593. He helped create one of the earliest formal botanical gardens of Europe at Leiden, the Hortus Academicus, and his detailed planting lists have made it possible to recreate his garden near where it originally lay. In the history of gardening he is remembered not only for his scholarship but also for his observations on tulips breaking, a phenomenon discovered in the late 19th century to be due to a virus, causing the many different flamed and feathered varieties, which led to the speculative tulip mania of the 1630s. Clusius laid the foundations of Dutch tulip breeding and the bulb industry today. His first publication was a French translation of Rembert Dodoensis Herbal, published in Antwerp in 1557 by Van der Loo. His Antidoctorium sive de exacta componentorum essentorum que medicamentorum rationale. 3. Nunc excite Sermoni Latini Facti initiated his fruitful collaboration with the renowned plant and printing press at Antwerp, which permitted him to issue late-breaking discoveries in natural history and to ornament his texts with elaborate engravings. Clusius, as he was known to his contemporaries, published two major original works. His Rariorum aliquot Stirpium per Hispania's Observatorum Historia is one of the earliest books on Spanish flora, and his Rariorum Stirpium per Pannonia's Observatorum Historiae is the first book on Austrian and Hungarian alpine flora. His collected works were published in two parts. Rariorum Plantarum Historia contains his Spanish and Austrian flora and adds more information about new plants as well as a pioneering mycological study on mushrooms from Central Europe, and Exoticorum Libri Decem is an important survey of exotic flora and fauna, both still often consulted. He contributed as well to Abraham Ortelius's map of Spain. Clusius translated several contemporary works in natural science. Clusius was also among the first to study the flora of Austria under the auspices of Emperor Maximilian II. He was the first botanist to climb the Ocha and the Schneeberg in Lower Austria, which was also the first documented ascent of the latter. His contribution to the study of alpine plants has led to many of them being named in his honor, such as Gentiana classii, Potentia classiana and Primula classiana. The genus Clusia also honors Clusius. Works by Charles de la Recluse, 1557, Rembert Dodoens, Histoire des Plantes, French translation from Dutch, 1567, Garcia de Orta, Aromatome Simplicium aliquot medicamentorum apud Indias Nascentium Historia, Latin translation from Portuguese, 1574, Nicholas Monod's De Simplicibus Medicamentis ex Occidentale India Delitis Quorum in Medicina US Est, Latin translation from Spanish 1579, revised edition under the title Simplicium Medicamentorum ex Nova Orbi Delatorum, Quorum in Medicina US Est, Historia 1576, Rariorum aliquot Stirpium per Hispania's Observatorum Historia, 1582, Compendium of the translations from Garcia Garcia de Orta and Nicolas Moniz, now combined with selections from Cristobal Acosta, Tractado de las Drogas y Medicinas de las Indias Orientales 1593, further revised edition of this compendium, 1583, Rerum Stirpium Papanias Observatorum Historiae, 1601, Rerum Plantarum Historia, 1605, Exoticorum Libri Decem, including final revised editions of the translations from Garcia de Orta, Nicolas Moniz and Cristobal da Costa, a complete list of his works. Translations of his work, 1589, Del Historia dei Semplici Aromatiae Alticos che vengono portadall'India Orientale pertinente all'uso della medicina, di Don Gazia dal Hortu. Italian retranslation by Annibal Briganti of Clusius's edited translations of Garcia de Orta and Nicolas Moniz. Some notes of Charles L. Teclus, a native of Gaul, upon the history of spices by Garcia de Orta's Aromatimae Simplicium Historia, translated by Reverend Martin Pollard, O.S.B. Edited an introduction by Gary D. Gidson, Fort Nephalem Publishing, Wheeler, Oregon. Clusius, Carolus, a treatise on tulips, translated by W. Van Dijk, Haarlem, Enschede, 1951.